No matter how old you are, no matter your gender, your age, all these like demographic factors, no matter what it is, we all have goals, we all have things that we aspire to get in life and things that we want to do with our lives. And the thing is, we put off a lot of them and we work in some now, but we typically don't always work towards them. And if we don't do anything about them, everything just stays the same. And what I want to ask you is, can you honestly say you're okay with that? Can you say you're okay with not moving forward and actually working towards your goals or your purpose? I'm sure you're familiar with Aristotle, the philosopher, and he says that humans are teleological beings. Telos means target, and he says that we need to have goals or targets to direct our life force towards. Basically, we should always have something that we're trying to accomplish or acquire in our life, and you most likely know what it is. Like deep down, you know what it is. Maybe it's in the back of your head. And if you don't, if you sat still for like 10 minutes, just in a dark room, just sat there with your thoughts, it would keep appearing in your mind. Like subconsciously, you know what your goals are, what your purpose is. We just tend to put it off, and we don't really work towards them. And like it can be something that holds you back, and it really hurts your mental health too, because you don't have anything you're working towards. You don't have a target, like he was saying basically. These goals that we have should be our current purpose, and we should fully align our lives with it in order to achieve it. And that's the thing, it's really hard to fully align your life with the things that you want, especially now with all the distractions we have. Like, there's so much entertainment that we have now, right? Video games, music, podcasts. It's just nonstop. It's literally, you don't really have the chance to fully align your life with it. But if you are capable of taking the time, figuring out the path you need to go on and work towards it, that's how you feel the most fulfillment and just you're living for your purpose. I can tell you one example. There's been obviously many times in my life, but I always talk about the gym a lot. It's a big part of my life. But whenever I was first getting in the gym and I was super heavy into the gym, I would completely align my life to that, because at that time, building a nice physique and just getting stronger was my main priority in life. I really lived for it and I loved it. So I would, like no joke, completely align my day to it. I'd have set times for my meals. I'd be targeting my macros, figuring how many calories, protein I want. I'd figure out what I wanted to work out, when I wanted to work out, how many sets. Like I was full in on it. My whole day was aligned to it, and I achieved what I wanted to. And while I was doing that, even though I wasn't really doing much of my life, I was barely working. I think I was in school still, but school was easy for me. I just breezed by. And on top of all that, even though I wasn't doing anything, I felt fulfillment because I had this goal, this purpose I was working towards. And whenever I achieved it, great. But now it's time for me to find a new one. Happy people have projects. Now, whether that's raising a kid, starting a garden, creating a following on YouTube, getting in the gym, learning a martial art, whatever it is, happy people have projects, things they can devote their time to. If you want to call it a hobby, you can. But these projects give you a sense of fulfillment and something to live for. And it's these goals that make us feel human and give us a target to work towards, like Aristotle was saying. What's your number one most inspiring goal right now? Seriously, like what makes you want to get out of bed and get up and get fired up to start your day and get things done? What is it for you? Just think about that. For me, it's obviously building a following on YouTube and also getting better at jiu-jitsu. I do jiu-jitsu a lot. I go about 5 or 6 days a week, and a big goal of mine is to get good at it. And one of my yearly goals is to get my blue belt, and I'm getting pretty close. I got like 6 months left, something like that. Nah, like probably like 4 months. So I got a little time. We'll see what happens. But those are two of my biggest goals that will help me get fired up about my day, be the best version of me, because I know I have these things I need to do and work towards, and it gives me a really big sense of fulfillment and purpose. If I wasn't doing either of these things, I would not be nearly as happy as I am right now, and I wouldn't have much. I might have different goals set, but thinking in my life right now, if I didn't have those two things, I'd probably feel pretty lost. It all starts with seeing a better future and having a specific goal that can lead you there and fire you up. But just having a goal isn't enough. We need to actually believe we can turn that dream into a reality. What we need is a sense of self-confidence and the belief that we can make things happen. If we don't believe that, and we don't believe in ourselves, then the goals are pointless. They're not even really goals, they're just dreams. Like I said, you gotta turn the dream into a reality, or just believe you can. Because if you can't see it, it's not gonna happen. And if you don't believe it, you won't truly work towards it, right? Think if you had this huge goal, and you don't really believe you can achieve it, but it's still a goal of yours, right? You want to achieve it, but you really don't believe you can. Are you gonna give it your 100% all? Or you're gonna just kind of like half-ass do it, like, oh, it's not gonna work anyways, but I'm gonna try it out. And if you have that mindset, you're not gonna give it your all. I don't care what anybody says. If you don't really believe you can do it, or at least somewhat believe you can do it, you gotta have at least some faith in yourself and the confidence to believe you can do it. Because if you don't, again, you're just not gonna actually try. You might try to trick yourself, fool yourself into thinking you're trying, but you're not really giving it all of you. You're not giving it 100%, and you're not gonna make it happen. And then you need to create a plan to actually achieve that goal, and expect obstacles in that plan and while you're working towards your goal. And then once you hit these obstacles, you overcome them, and then you redirect your plan while taking those obstacles into account. So once you hit those obstacles, keep in mind the lessons you learn, and then reshape the plan. That's all there is to it. And then keep going with the new plan, hit another obstacle again, and just repeat. So you basically set up the plan to achieve your goal. You're going to come across some obstacles, obviously. Once you hit the obstacle, you change up the plan, keep in mind the lessons you learned from that obstacle, and then shape your plan around that obstacle, and you just keep going from there, right? It's pretty simple, and you just want to really align your life to it. If you're only giving it, like 30%, and you might achieve that eventually, but it's going to take way longer, and then you're just wasting time at that point. You're not living for your purpose, living for what you really want. Because if you're taking the time to set something up as your goal, that means you truly want it. Like if you're taking the time, like actually think about that. If you're taking the time to tell yourself, okay, I want this, I want to achieve this, that means you really want it. Like, have you ever sat down and been like, man, I'm going to make it a goal to watch this movie that I'm about to watch? No, it's kind of like a spur of the moment thing. But if you sit there and take the time to tell yourself, I genuinely want this, then it's something you want and you should be working towards. You shouldn't be putting it off like, oh, I'll do it later. Because, it's easy to be lazy. It's easy to get distracted by the entertainment around us and everything. So it's hard to work toward it. I get that, and I've been there. But, with time, you understand, and it's kind of, it's almost haunting. I don't want to say haunting, because you will regret it, but it's not going to be like, oh man, I wasted so much time. Some people might, but me personally, I don't regret the time I spent doing things that I enjoyed. But I do wish I would have aligned my life with my goals sooner and actually stuck to it and done the things I said I wanted to do. Because again, it'll shape your life and to be more fulfilling and give you a new purpose too. Because once you fulfill that purpose, there'll be new things that build up around it that you could learn from that past experience. But quick little ramble. If you're interested in that content or got any value from this video, please subscribe. I really appreciate it. But besides that, got any goals or anything that should happen? See you in the next one.